Hello, everyone. I'm Dolores Greenwald, the director of Williamson County Public Library. And this is Not Just Books, which tells about the community and things that are going on at the library as well. I have two very, very special guests. And we're going to be talking about an organization that is very important to our community and to the world at large. And Cassie Jones is publisher of Southern Exposure when she has the time and she's not doing things for Alzheimer's. And Laura Musgrave she's got a concierge background. I don't exactly know what she's doing. She's pretty secretive sometimes, but
what is she doing?
Alzheimer's. It's so good to have my peeps here. And I'm going to let them do most of the talking about what's going on with the Alzheimer's Association locally and outside of our area and in the state. I know one thing you guys do is go to the state capitol quite a bit. And Laura, we've talked about that before, but you guys really hit the town when you go to Nashville. Laura, you want to talk about it, and then Cassie can come in too?
Absolutely.
Well, Cassie and I, we like to call ourselves the Dream Team. We have been advocating side by side for 3 years. Not only have we been to the state, we have traveled to Washington together, slept in the same room and everything. But it's funny when we walk those halls and we are side by side, and when we can get things done, it's a way for both of us to honor our sisters and our family and our friends that have lost ones to the disease. So we're very passionate about our advocating. As a matter of fact, Sam Whitson kids with us, and he says that if he ever saw a legislator hanging from his ankles by the window, that he would suspect they were meeting with Cassie and I.
True story.
We're gentle, but we're passionate. So
absolutely.
Go ahead.
And Cassie, does it help to have someone with you so you feel like you're not alone when you're on these trips to DC or the state?
Absolutely. I mean, Laura and I have always been a team in this. It's kind of an interesting story how we got started, and how I got started advocating is that Laura and I have probably known each other over 15 years, but she bounced into the Southern Exposure office one day and she said, "Hey, what's going on? Was going to talk with you or Brandy or Derby, and I'd really like to promote the Walk to End Alzheimer's in October. I'm the walk chair." And she started telling me a little bit of her background, and she told me about the loss of her sister Joanne. And I ended up opening up with her and sharing with her that my sister Susie also had Alzheimer's and that I had a strong family history. I lost my grandmother to Alzheimer's. I lost my mom to Alzheimer's. And so it was really kind of a God thing, to be honest with you. And so then I said, "Sure, I'll do the story. I'll write it. That's right up my alley." And then she says, "By the way, I'm going to meet with a legislator on Tuesday. Would you like to come?" And I said, "Sure." And then it's never stopped. I mean, I just really, we got down there and we started sharing our story and talking with Sam. And of course, Charles Sargent was there at the time. And we have such support there at the state capitol. And so anyway, that's really kind of how our journey began together, to kind of help end this horrible disease. So
Cassie, you found out Laura was a force of nature at the very beginning, didn't you?
Yes, I did. And I had no idea what the two of us could accomplish together. I mean, it really is kind of a neat thing because we already had kind of strong, relationships with some of these community leaders. And, sometimes I think the opportunity arises where, you're in a position where you can reach out to folks that already trust you and kind of are interested in your story. And it's a blessing to be able to get things done in the name of Alzheimer's and just kind of help future generations. We feel pretty blessed to be in a position to be able to try to create some kind of change.
Right. one of my favorite pictures is Cassie and I had just come out of a legislator's office, and we had gotten his signature to support a bill that we were presenting, and we had the bill in our hand, and we were turning and high-fiving each other. And our precious policy director, public policy director for Alzheimer's, captured that moment, and it's always been one of my favorite photos of Cassie and I just getting it done and honoring, like I said, that's really a big thing for both of us.
Absolutely.
Well, when I think about, a family situation and someone was lost due to a particular disease or something else, and how that person and the family can change the pain around and go outward and help other people. I think that's very impressive. And I don't know if you realize what an inspiration you've been, not only to me, but to other people that knows your stories as well. It's very exciting to work with you, and I'm so proud that you guys have included the library in some of the education incentives that you have. So tell us a little bit about what goes on when you raise awareness for Alzheimer's. Cassie, you want to go first?
Well, sure. Well, first of all, I will touch on, Laura was the one who was very instrumental in coming to you and saying, hey, can we come up with a kind of a lunch and learn support series, an educational series at the library? And I give all the credit to her when it comes to that. And it's been a very successful series. And I think, when you talk about awareness, a lot of these families just don't know where to go, right? And I've been there where you just weren't sure where to turn. And so I think that programming at the library is very important. And you wouldn't believe the people that come up to Laura and I after one of those, lunch and learns, and just say, thank goodness that this is here and that this is provided to the community, because I really just need to talk to someone that's been there. So I think, Alzheimer's is the third leading cause of death in Williamson County. That's a big number. So there are lots of families out there that need support, they need resources, and they really, when you're in the thick of it and you're a caregiver 24/7, you really don't know where to turn, and it's very overwhelming. So I think that is what Laura and I's mission is to just let families know they're not alone in this, and that there is help out there. And the Alzheimer's Association is a great resource for families that are navigating through this journey that's can be pretty scary at times.
Laura, I would expect it would be tremendously scary and overwhelming. You're in the thick of it, as Cassie says, and then you need some help, but you're stuck in the moment by moment process of taking care of your loved one. Right. And I would think you just want to scream out and say, hey, somebody understand what I'm going through and somebody help me.
Right. That's exactly what they're feeling, is they just feel helpless. Sometimes it's referred to, the longest goodbye, where, there's no cure for this. I don't want to use the expression a death sentence, but there's no cure for this horrible disease. And that's very daunting, is that there's nothing you can do except continue to care for your loved one. That's why this library program that you and I have so passionately and Sharon Riley have put on is so important to these people. Like Cassie said, people will approach us and thank us. If there's anything good that came out of COVID, which is not much, but we did go virtually with the library program. And one thing I appreciate about that is that I think that we're reaching more people. This program is designed to be held in Williamson County, but now virtually we're reaching out to our neighboring counties with this. We're able to have people that maybe could not leave their house before are able to just go to their computer and see the program. So That's one good thing that did come out of COVID, is that I think that we're reaching more with our program, and we've had such great success with it. And I want to personally thank you, Dolores, and the Williamson County Library for all of your support with this program. And I'm going to just mention, because I'm so proud of the fact that we actually had the state reach out to the Alzheimer's Association and was curious of how we did the program, how we started it, what we're doing with it. And they're now backing us on this program and recommending it to all the librarians. I was actually on a call with over 60 librarians from the state, that was huge.
Exciting. That's
We
exciting.
had such a great interest in it. And the state is completely behind all the libraries on this. There's actually no cost to the library. But your library is so sweet. You do the brochures, and you're so easy to work with in the support. So I'm so excited about that it has gone further than Williamson County, and that we were the template for it. So thank you. Thank you.
I love it that people realize what a great idea this was. And it happened because we had one speaker come. We had about 90 folks in our auditorium.
Right.
Many people, I was sitting beside Laura at the Alzheimer's Association table. Many people came up and talked about, they were concerned they might have it, or they were concerned their husband or wife or mother may have it. And it really, talking to those folks kind of helped me understand a little bit more about what a real personal disease this is.
Mhm.
And the fact that it impacts the whole family. It just does not impact the person that has it. It's devastating in so many different ways. And any kind of support that on our part that the library can do, I think it's worthwhile, because Cassie was mentioning numbers a few minutes ago. It's the numbers are only just drastically increasing.
Right. So I just want to touch upon when we first started advocating side by side that Tuesday. Cassie had never been before, so she was kind of new, and I was so impressed and touched how she just took to it, and it came from the heart. And that's so important in our advocacy. It doesn't take a lot of, knowing the numbers, knowing the facts and the statistics. It comes from our heart. And that's where our passion is, in our family. And I'm gonna let her finish the story, but she walked in and I asked her to please share her story. And that's important. I know the first time I advocated was 5 days after my sister had passed. It just happened to be the day on the Hill, 5 days after she had passed. And I walked into a legislator's office and I put a picture of my sister right on his desk. And I told her story. The first time Cassie went, I was so impressed that she walked in, she had a purple folder. And she walked in and I was impressed with that. But she walked in and she had family photos. And Cassie, can you share that story about what Maggie said to you, but also what you said the first time you advocated?
Yeah. So, with my sister actually, and my brother-in-law actually kind of stepped in as surrogate grandparents to my children after my parents passed. So, I remember, sharing with Maggie that I was maybe going to go to this meeting with Laura, and she said, Mom, do you have the gene that Mima has for Alzheimer's? And I said, Maggie, honey, I'm not sure. I have not been tested. I haven't gone that far. And she said, and I said, I'm going to be honest with you. At this point, I don't know, but it is genetic. And she said, Mom, what are you going to do about this? And she's just as serious as she could. And I think she knows me and she kind of knows my drive. And that was a real aha moment for me, that she believed that maybe I could do something in conjunction with Laura to change the fate of if not, for our family, for her, future generations. So yeah, I was very green when Laura took me on that first call. Our fearless leader, and our policy person at Alzheimer's, Rachel Blackhurst, is amazing. She was with us, but I think we sat down. I actually think we sat down with Glenn Cassida, and we were just kind of sharing our stories. And I had a purple folder, and I had known Glenn. He's in Rotary Club with Derby, and I basically just said, we really need your support. We depend on it. And I said, and I'm going to share with you why. And I shared with him a picture of my grandmother. I then shared with him a picture of my mom, and then my sister, and then I flipped out a picture of me and Derby and the kids. And I said, this last picture, this is why I have to have your support. And graciously, he did lend us his support that day, and we went on to pass that first bill, SJH, I think 619. To create an advisory council along with the Tennessee Health Department, which is a huge step. And we've gone on to pass other legislation subsequently. And it's just really making a mark and leaving a legacy to be able to pass legislation that helps families and caregivers. So that was kind of part of that story. And then after that, I've always showed up with my purple folder. And I think what Laura says is true. They want to hear how it's affected you personally. Again, the numbers, they speak for themselves, but really what people want to hear is, I remember being 5 months or pregnant with Maggie and looking for a new nursing home for my mom because, she was at Mary Queen of Angels, and she ended up with a heart attack, and then she went to St. Thomas, and they wouldn't accept her back. So you talk about being in the moment as a caregiver and just being completely overwhelmed. I've been there. So when people talk with Laura and I after like a support group meeting at the library, we can empathize. And I also want to say about the library program, what a brilliant idea, because what a safe place and what a obvious place for people in their communities to be able to go and get information is the local library. Brilliant. And the fact that Laura and you have created something that is going to go statewide throughout the state of Tennessee, amazing. So I'm beyond just amazed and proud at what you guys have done.
Thanks, Cass.
Well, you've been a tremendous help in getting this started, and you're right. I mean, it just seemed like a natural fit for us to get involved. You guys are going to be doing Paint the Town.
Yay!
Yay!
Purple.
So tell us, both of you, Laura, you start off. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, 3 years ago, Cassie, right? Yeah, 3 years ago, we decided we wanted to, and we had our other sidekick, Ashley Briggs, with us, who is the executive director over at Morning Point. And we approached the Downtown Franklin Association about flowering up or painting the town purple for Alzheimer's Awareness Month. We had gone to both our city mayor, Ken Moore, and our county mayor, Rogers Anderson, who we have had their support since day one. They always take our meetings. They always are so helpful, and we have their support. And as a matter of fact, when we first met with Ken Moore, I had asked if we could declare a day in June as Alzheimer's Awareness Day. And he said, well, why don't we do the month? So we got his blessing on that. We had a proclamation with the BOMA, which was very exciting. And one thing I can remember is Pearl Bransford was so excited. We gave her a sash, a purple sash for Alzheimer's. And she was so excited. She was a queen. She even had the queen wave. So she was also a big support, right? A big support. And so we had the support from the city. And of course, we went to Rogers Anderson, same thing. And we went in front of the county commission. We pinned all of the county commissioners with purple ribbons. So we started this 3 years ago. Unfortunately, last year we weren't able to do it. So Cassie said to me, the early part of this year, we need to, get this going. And so we again have approached the mayors. We have their blessings. They're going to do another proclamation for June as Alzheimer's awareness. And then I'm going to let Cassie talk to you because she's been working with the Downtown Franklin Association, and she'll let you know what we're doing with them.
Sure. So Laura and I had an opportunity to be part of DFA's monthly meeting last week, and they were back to in person, which was great. So, we weren't able to do it last year because of COVID, but 2 years ago, we were able to partner with DFA and encourage the merchants to decorate their storefronts in purple. Parks was on Main Street at the time. They got way into it. Puckett's decorated their storefront, and it was just kind of a great thing to, as I said to DFA, or we said last week, it's just a way to show your civic pride for a cause that affects so many people in your community. And we actually even incentivized it this time. We have a $100 gift card to Colachinos. Thank you to Frank over there for donating that. And also Graham Ash over at Franklin Mercantile Deli donated a $50 gift card. So it's a community, and it's for first, second, and third place. We'll have prizes, and just to make it fun. But really what it's about is, as we talked about in the last meeting at DFA, unfortunately, most people in that room, if their lives haven't been affected personally by Alzheimer's, they certainly know someone whose life has been affected by Alzheimer's. So it's really just a fun way to show people that are navigating through this that they're not alone, and to build awareness and to encourage people that there are resources out there, and there are people out there like Laura and I that will listen and that have been there. So we're so excited to partner with DFA on that. And we're very grateful to the Heritage Foundation and to Liz over there. She's amazing for giving us that opportunity again.
She's
she is. She's great. So we're very appreciative of that.
And when Cassie mentioned about people that are touched or have been affected by this, as soon as we walked into the theater, our city administrator, Eric Stuckey, was there, and he right away mentioned that Cassie had reached out to the police department about putting purple flowers in the knoll, the grassy knoll, in front of the police department. And our chief of police had reached out to the city, and Eric said to me at that point, he said, "I've given permission for you all to put flowers in front of the police department." And he told me then that his father had the disease.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I've got my purple tie. I'm going to be wearing it all month. So I know that when I started, when I started 4 years ago advocating, that they said 1 out of every 3 people are affected by it. And I think that at some point, everybody is going to be affected by this in one way or another. Someone, your family member. It's scary.
Yeah.
So are you guys going to kick off at the BOMA meeting, or how are you going to kick this off?
Well, we kind of kicked it off at the DFA meeting. I'm going to be going around because not all the merchants were able to make the meeting. So we're going to, I'm going to go around and talk to all the merchants. We also had some goodie bags for them, which included some pamphlets, 10 warning signs of Alzheimer's, and then also understanding Alzheimer's, so they can take a look at that. And we had cups and pens and candy and stuff for them. So that was the first part of it. We are having the proclamation at BOMA the end of the month. I think it's the 25th, Cass?
Yes, I believe so.
And Mayor Moore will give us the proclamation that evening. And then the first county commission meeting in June, the mayor, Anderson, will be also, and we will be pinning the county commissioners. There's some other events that we're working with. We're going to be doing Juneteenth. Thank you, Alma, for including.
Alma.
And so we'll be there with our snow cone machine. Cassie and I are now the proud owners of a snow cone machine. we've been at the Rotary barbecue. You've seen us there, Dolores, because you
Yeah.
work at the big Rotary, and we make snow cones and take it donations for Alzheimer's. And we either do red or blue snow cones, or we can combine them and make purple snow cones. So we'll have our little ice snow cone machine at Juneteenth. We're also going to be participating. I think August is the Rotary barbecue. Is that right,
Yes,
girl?
end of August, yes.
We'll be using our snow cone machine then. And also in June, we have June 26th out in Leapers Fork. We're doing a fundraiser concert with Paul Overstreet, and it's a free event. So that starts at 3 and ends at 7 out in the park behind the Leapers Fork Market, which runs along Leapers Creek. It's a beautiful park. So we've got that event going on. We're going to put hundreds of flowers, purple flowers in Leapers Fork, just decorate all the storefronts. And if you've ever been out to Leapers Fork, you know, it's just a short village, but when you pull in there and you see all these whirly flowers swirling, it's just really amazing. And the merchants out in Leapers Fork and downtown Franklin have been so supportive. And I know I live in Leapers Fork, and how much my little community has been affected by the disease too. We've lost several great community members to the disease. So we're very passionate about it. And what else we got going on, Cass? We're doing lots of things.
Well, the Juneteenth, partnering with Alma, that is really important and special to us, because we, Laura and I had an opportunity 2 years ago. I hate that I keep having to say 2 years ago. We did a barbecue out at the Williamson County complex, and invited folks from kind of the underserved areas. And, you know, Robert Blair helped with that. Brant Bousquet took flyers around. Alma was very supportive. And we're trying to, you know, lend resources and education to an underserved population that may also just feel like they don't know where to turn and may not always have the information in front of them. We feel like that's important for everyone in our community to have that awareness and have that information available to them. So this is really just an extension of that event. Alma called me up and said, "Hey, I'm hoping I can count on you and Laura to have a table at Juneteenth. I think it would be great." And she said, "I really see a need in our immediate community for that." So, you know, that's work that Laura and I are very proud of. I mean, we basically want to make sure that people in Williamson County in particular, that we are a resource for our community. It's very important to us, and that touches everyone.
And they have been. I was at a meeting with some people, and they said Alzheimer's, and they pointed at me. And Cassie has had friends of hers reach out to her over the phone, and I have a friend that, you know, has been diagnosed with this, or my husband has, you know, going through this. And so we will always answer the phone. We're not experts and we don't have all the answers, but we're there, and we're there to listen. We've lived it. And Cassie, more than I mean, to lose her grandmother and her mother. And just last month, her sister Susie, her beautiful sister Susie. So we will always pick up the phone. We will always answer any questions we can. And if we can't, we can always refer. The best references is through the Alzheimer's Association, and they have a 24/7 helpline, and that's 1-800-272-3900. I think that's it. But that's a great resource for people too. And the clinicians that answer the phones are just so amazing, 24/7.
Typically, we can get you to the right person. Again, like Laura says, I don't profess to be the expert, and I get questions about conditions I wasn't familiar with, and you know, I may not know the answer, but I know who can get someone the answer typically. So,
and Cassie and I are always doing.
Librarians are good at that too.
Yes, I bet they are.
And by the way, thank you, Williamson County Library. Again, you will be decorating for June awareness. Thank you. And then also, I understand that even in the library, you're going to have an area that you decorate monthly, and in June it'll be done for Alzheimer's.
Yay.
That is
Yes.
so great.
It is a great resource for anything Alzheimer's, the library. I know that when we did have the classes at the library, there was always a cart that Sharon would bring down, just stocked with books about Alzheimer's and dementia. So thank you.
Well, thank you guys for your time today. As we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Just thank you so much, Dolores, for all of your support and help. And Cassie, thank you for being by my side through all this. That's what I have to say.
Absolutely. And I'll echo what Laura says, Dolores, your friendship, your support, your leadership in the community. It's what makes Franklin great, is that people, you know, have these friendships and relationships, and then they can collaborate together for the betterment of the community. It's awesome. I'm very grateful to live in Franklin.
That's one of my favorite things about Franklin and Williamson County is that, you know, everybody just reaches out to help each other, and it's wonderful. Wonderful. Well, thanks again. And you know, you're not going to be a stranger. You're going to have to come back and let us know what's going on, because I miss my peeps, you know. I have to see them from time to time. So, but thank you very much, Kathy, and thank you very much, Laura, and thank you very much for watching. And until next time, explore your world and read.